Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ring Chasers podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Jake.
I'm Alex.
And today we are recapping the Western Conference semifinals. We got the Suns and the Mavericks and the Warriors and the Grizzlies, and then we got a little Western Conference Finals preview for you.
Let's go.
And how you doing today, man?
I'm chilling. I'm being chilling.
That's that's great. I'm doing great. Still battling a bit of a cold over the weekend, but we're battling through it. You know, can't miss out on the pod. And let's just get right into it. I got the first series here. I got the Suns and the Mavericks.
All right, let's hear it.
This one was more intense than I thought it was going to be.
I was expecting like a five game series for Phoenix.
Yeah. But I mean, game one it started off how we expected. Phoenix won 121 to 114. They never trailed in this game. They just kind of smacked the Mavs right in the face. A 9-0 run to start the game, and then a 22-7 run in the first half. They beat the Mavs for the 10th straight game, and the Suns just kind of brought out the energy this game. Excuse me. And Doncic got hit in the nuts by Crowder in the second quarter. That one stings. A little Draymond Green right there. And then it was just all Suns. I mean, JaVale McGee had a steal on Luka. JaVale McGee had a steal on Luka early in the fourth quarter and had a fast break jam.
Oh.
That was just funny to watch. It's just like that's just when you know that it's just all Suns.
JaVale's a solid player. Don't do him like that.
Okay. I mean, for the Mavs, Luka goes off 45, 12, and 8 on 50%. Also 5 turnovers, but I mean, still a great game for him.
5 turnovers at 45 is not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, Brunson struggled against a little tougher defense, only 13 points. And then both Kleba and Finney-Smith had good games off the bench, 19 for Kleba and 15 for Dorian Finney-Smith. For the Suns, Devin Booker came out hot in the first quarter, scoring 13 points on 50%, and also had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. He finished with 23, 9, and 8 in his second game back from that hamstring injury. Ayton provided a good game, 25 and 8, and then CP3 also had 19 solid points, and Cam Johnson off the bench, 17, and Bridges provided big defense for the Suns that game. And also, Suns won the rebound battle by 15, and they led by as many as 21. It was just all Phoenix that game. Moving on to game two, a little more of the same stuff. 129-109, the Suns win by 20 points.
At this point, I'm looking sweep.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody's thinking, oh, this is all Suns. They've beat the Mavs 11 times in a row now. It was actually a close game going into the fourth quarter, and then CP3 and the Suns went off. He scored 14 of his 28 points in the fourth quarter to put them away. And he ended up shooting 11 of 16 with 6 rebounds and 8 assists. So a good game from CP.
Not many of those left in the tank.
Not many left in the tank. Booker, also another great game, 30 points. And Crowder also had 15 solid points. Luka, that guy also had another great scoring game. But he had 7 turnovers to go with his 7 assists. That's tough for him. But he's still shooting that thing out there. Brunson, another tough one for him, only 9 points on 25%. And then Bullock had 16 solid points for the Mavs. But, I mean, it was all Suns. They shot almost 20% better from the field and 10% better from 3. They led by as many as 27 points and won the rebound battle. I mean, which you're kind of going to expect with the Suns as a much bigger team than the Mavs. So you kind of see the Suns winning the rebound battle. And then a little scare here. Maxi Kleba took a tough fall on his back early in the fourth quarter after finishing alley-oop dunk, but he was okay. He stayed in the rest of the series. He didn't miss anything. Now, game number 3, we go over to Dallas, and the Mavs win 103-94 on Chris Paul's 37th birthday. You might hear a little more about that birthday later after the series.
Old geezer.
Okay, Charles Barkley. The Dallas snapped an 11-game losing streak against the Suns. And this was actually the Suns' lowest scoring game of the season so far.
Wow.
A little bit of foreshadowing there. The energy of the home crowd brought up Dallas' defensive efforts this game. The Suns shot 45%, which you might think, hey, that's not that bad. But that ends their 8-game streak of shooting over 50% or more in the playoffs.
Wow.
They had averaged 50% in the field or more in every single game up to now, and that snapped it there. I mean, the Suns had 17 turnovers compared to the Mavs 8. That's a lot of
Yikes.
turnovers. And their only lead in the game was 13-12 halfway through the first quarter. So it was kind of a little bit of a flip-flop here, all Mavs here. And for the Suns, you know, all 5 starters were in double digits. Crowder had 19, Bridges had 12. Not great shooting. Aiden had 16 and 11. CP had 12 points with 7 turnovers, all of them in the first half, which is a career high for turnovers and a half for CP. But the bench kind of just never brought anything out for them. And then for the Mavs, Brunson had a bounce back game, 28 points. Luka had 26, 13 and 9. Kind of struggled again on the turnovers with 5, but you know,
You live with that.
Luka's gonna be passing the ball around a lot, and you can
That's
kind of
that
live with
thing.
that when he's averaging 30 plus a game.
Yeah.
1 second here. We just had a little technical difficulties. Let me just get the series back up again. Game number 4. The Mavs win this one as well, 111-101, ties up the series 2-2, which kind of gives you a little bit more of excitement in the series. You know, a lot of people expected the Suns to kind of not roll over, but have an easy time with them. CP3 fouled out early in the fourth quarter, and he had 4 fouls in the first half. I mean, a few of these calls could have gone either way. I saw some of them, like, they could have been borderline, but when you're a top 3 scorer on the team, you can't be fouling out in a playoff series, especially having 4 fouls at the half.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know if this kind of motivated him, but a Mavs fan actually touched Chris Paul's mom during the game and
Can't do
shoved
that.
his wife.
You can't do that.
And sources say that his children felt very unsafe. So I don't know if that also kind of affected his mood and made him a little bit more aggressive during the game. That could have changed things. The Suns, they shot really poorly from 3, only 9 of 25,
Yikes.
compared to the Mavs, who made 23 pointers that game. I mean, Suns, once again, with the turnovers, 17 of them. Mavs only had 11. And then, same thing, the Suns' only lead was 8-7 with over 9 minutes left in the first quarter. So, I mean, it's been kind of a flip-flop series here, kind of like home team. Home teams really had the advantage. CP3 only had 5 points in his limited minutes because he fouled out. Booker had 35 and 7 assists with 5 turnovers. Aiden had another double-double, 14-11. You'd like to see a little more scoring out of him.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot of turnovers for the starters. Crowder also had 4 turnovers with 15 points. And then Cam Johnson struggled with only 11 off the bench. And for the Mavs, Luka still going off, man. 26, 7, and 11 for him.
What can that man not do?
That man is a bad mofo. Like, I gotta censor it a little bit because it's school, but I mean, he is a bad man. And Brunson had a solid 18 points. Dorian Finney-Smith dropped a playoff career high 24 points on 8 3-pointers. So congratulations for him. And Maxi Kleber 11 points and Bertans 12 points, both giving some solid scoring off the bench. Moving on, game number 5. Suns come back home and they win because it's been home team advantage all series. Suns were up by 3 at halftime, and then Phoenix outscored Dallas 61-34 in the second half, fueled by a lot of runs, a lot of like 17-0, 10-0 runs, 12-0 runs, and they won 110-80. The Mavs had 12 of their 18 turnovers in the disastrous third quarter that they had, and the Suns only had 12 turnovers total. So it was just, the Suns just kind of outplayed that game. Shot better from the field and from 3.
Quite
And,
a bit as well. They shot
Yeah,
better.
they shot way better. And
Shot
the
that
Mavs were just kind of not moving the ball well. They only had 9 assists as a team, which is low, especially when you got a guy like Luka, who's an assist machine. And the Suns dominated the paint again, kind of as you expected. And then Luka, 28 and 11 for him, 11 rebounds, that is. Brunson, 21 points. And that's kind of all the scoring they got, because the rest of the team combined had 31 points and shot 8 of 31 from the field. That is the rest of their entire team, other than 2 players, scored 31 points. And Luka almost had 31 points of his own.
Yeah.
So a tough shooting night for the others that game. For the Suns, I mean, kind of more contribution from everybody. Bridges had 14. Aiden had a better scoring night with 20. CP hasn't looked well since his 37th birthday. Had 10 points, or sorry, didn't shoot well but had 10 assists. Excuse me. Booker had another great game with 28, and then Cam Johnson kind of been playing well for them as well off the bench with 14. And then game number 6, we're going back to Dallas, and guess what? Home team wins again.
Of course.
Another blowout. This has been a series of blowouts, man. 113-86. The Mavs win to tie the series. This is now the Suns' worst loss or lowest scoring game of the season.
Wow.
The Suns' last lead was 19-17 with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. So they never really had a big lead. And the Mavs just kind of took off in the second half from them. Suns got completely outplayed by Dallas in this game. They had 22 turnovers to Dallas's 7, and Dallas shot better from the field and made 10 more 3-pointers than the Suns. For the Suns box score, the Ayton had 21 and 11, so a solid game from him. But CP3, man, only took 7 shots and had 5 turnovers to go with his 13 points and 4 assists.
Seems like there's been a trend in this playoff. Whenever CP has a bad game, it's just him not shooting the ball.
Yeah,
Shooting horrible.
He's just not been aggressive, I feel like, with from the field.
It seems like when his shot's not going down, he just decides I'm not going to shoot.
Yeah, it's been shown this series, and then Booker didn't.
Even last series.
That's true. Last series was kind of he was like on and off.
Well, yeah, but
with this series,
he had
he's
like
mostly
2
off.
games where he had less than 10 shots taken.
Yeah, that's true. And then Booker didn't shoot great, but he had 19 points and 8 rebounds, but he had a season high 8 turnovers that game. And then for the Mavs, Luka obviously goes off 33, 11, and 8. That's just kind of casual for him now. Brunson had another 18 for them, and then Bullock had a solid 19 points. And Dinwiddie, haven't heard his name because he hasn't been playing well, but he finally shot better. Had 15 off the bench for the Mavs.
Spoiler alert, he plays pretty good in the next one.
Spoiler alert. And then the Mavs just kind of showed more desperation and willingness to win this game as they were fighting for getting out of the playoffs, and the Suns just kind of cruised into it. And then this is actually Luka's first ever win in an elimination game.
Yeah, he's lost twice to the Clips.
Yep, lost twice to the Clips. But I actually got a fun stat for you later about Luka in eliminations games. And then we move on to Game 7. Home team has actually won the first 6 games this series. Does it happen again? Nope.
Nah.
123-90, the Mavericks win. Oh my God, they win the series. They overthrow the Suns for the number 1 seed in the West, or who were the number 1 seed in the West, excuse me. They were the number 1 seed in the league. And as I said, home team won the first 6 games. And the Suns just came out with no energy, no aggression. They looked really bad. I watched this game. It was embarrassing for me to watch. It was just upsetting, actually. And the Luka just kind of set the tone by coming out and scoring the first 8 points of the game, and that was history, man. The Suns never led in this game, and the Mavs led by as many as 46 points. So not as bad as a game you're gonna hear about later, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, Dallas shot 19% better from the field, 13% better from 3, and won the rebound battle. And when you're a small team, winning the rebound battle is big for you to win a game. Luka finished with 35, 10, and 4 while only playing the first. This was only in 3 quarters, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because he didn't play the fourth quarter because it was such a blowout. And he had 27 points at the half. And here's the fun part, which is the same amount of points that the Suns had at the half.
That's sad. How do you be a number 1 seed in the league and score 27 and a half?
Yeah, it was 57-27 at halftime, and Luka had 27 points.
Sad.
That is sad. That is
Phoenix going out sad.
Phoenix going outside. Flight reacts. Brunson had 24 points, and then he kind of stepped up in the second half. He had 22 of his 24 points in the second half. And then here is what you were alluding to earlier. Dinwiddie dropped a 30-piece off the bench, which is a career high. And, he was shooting that thing, 73% from the field. And then for the Suns, we don't really care about their box score, but their highest score was Cam Johnson with 12 points.
Yeah, for Dinwiddie, what a time to have a playoff career high.
Oh, yeah, Game 7. I mean, this guy just stepped up, and, I was listening to some of the post-game talk in the press conferences and, the analysis and stuff like that. And, you could just see that they were just saying how you could see that the Suns felt the pressure of this game, whereas the Mavs just kind of came in light and breezy, and they just showed that they weren't they didn't take the game as seriously as this. Or I wouldn't say take the game as seriously, but like they didn't feel that weight on their shoulders of the game 7.
Yeah.
And some final takes for the series. After the first 2 games and his 37th birthday, CP3 did not look the same. He only averaged 9.4 points per game and taking only around 7 shots a game, with 5.8 with 5 assists per game in games 3 to 7. And you can't have that as honestly as your veteran leader.
Yeah,
for a pretty young team.
And he's your second option as well.
Yeah, he's your second option scorer. You can't be taking 7 shots a game in games 3 to 7. And Booker had his high-scoring games and his low-scoring games. He wasn't as consistent as people would like, especially with Chris Paul not doing his thing. And then also Ayton was kind of the same with his inconsistencies on the floor. And then, as I mentioned earlier, after shooting 50% from the field in the first round and the first games of the series, the Suns shot under 50% in games 3 to 7, and under 40% in games 6 and 7, which is the first time this year they've shot under 40% in back-to-back games.
Wow.
And for the Mavs, Luka absolutely dominated this series. Might hear his name later in a different episode. 32.6 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, and 7 assists. That is legit for a guy.
Legit.
It's his 3rd year in the league, and he's dropping this against a team like the Suns.
Man, it feels like Luka's been in the league so much longer.
It's only been 3 years. It's crazy.
Him and Trae Young both 3 years.
Yeah, and what I mentioned earlier is Luka in elimination games, averaging I think it was like around like 38 points a game, and 10 rebounds.
Wow.
In elimination games in his career. So I mean that guy knows how to step up to the challenge. And then more stuff for the Mavs. I mean, after struggling the first 2 games, Brunson stepped up. He averaged 22 points per game in games 3 to 7. So he was looking kind of more like he did in the first round against the Pels, kind of adapted to that little bit of better defense. And then the Mavs, man, they just got constant contributions from the others in this series. And I think that was the difference maker for the Mavs. Like, it was never the same guy, Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, who played great defense all series. And then you got Dinwiddie in the last 2 games. You got Kleba, you got Bertans. It was constantly different guys stepping up for them. And I think that's what won the series for them. And also, I mean, Dallas made 33 more 3-pointers than the Suns.
Wow.
Which also helped them bring down or win the series. And that's kind of all I got for this series. Unless you want to put in anything.
I think you covered most of it. I think I'm ready to move on to the West.
The Grizzlies and the Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Fun series here.
We're still in the West, but move out to the other game in the West. All right, so start off with game 1 here. 117-116 for Golden State. Keep it nice and close, but a win's a win. A win is a win. You got a pretty amazing game from JP, Jordan Poole, 31, 8 and 9 off the bench. Like that man, like he's inconsistent. When he's on, he's on.
He is a bad man when he is on.
Yeah, okay game from Steph. He had 24 on 40% shooting. Not amazing, not horrible.
Yeah.
Got 17 from Wiggs. Like if Wiggs can contribute that with his defense and his his play style, like he's one of the more important pieces on that team.
Especially with Clay now being back, he doesn't have to average 20 a game.
Yeah, but when Clay's playing like this, like he did in this game where he had 15 on 6 of 19 shooting.
Eesh.
Although one of those 6 shots was a huge 3 within the last 36 seconds to give them the lead they had. And then right after that on the other side of the court, Steph Curry, Steph blocks Ja Morant's layup.
What?
Exactly. And that would have given Memphis the lead. He blocked him, and right after Clay hits the 3, Warriors to the lead, and then Ja missed a floater on the other end later in the game.
Yeah. Good defense by Draymond.
Yeah, Draymond got tossed earlier in the game. The flag 2 on Brandon Clark.
Mm-hmm.
That was a controversial flagrant 2. I think it could have been a flagrant 1, but I see the flagrant 2 there.
Yeah. I mean, Draymond definitely didn't think it was a flag 2.
Oh, you should see him on Twitter after the game. I mean,
You should have seen him on NBA on TNT. He was talking that ish.
Memphis is big two.
Big two.
They're playing pretty good. Got Ja with 34, 9, and 10, and Jaren Jackson Jr. with 33 and 10. That's pretty good. But Golden State, they won the rebound battle and they just barely shot better from the field.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
A win is a win. Is a win is a win.
Hey, in game 2, Memphis gets a little bit of revenge here. 106-101. Tie it up 1-1. But man, Ja Morant, he is that guy.
I like what you put in the notes
47, 8 and 8 with 3 steals. He is him.
I like that. Ja Morant is him.
He is. And also, this game, another guy got tossed for a flagrant too. Dylan Brooks this time, someone from Memphis. He had a swipe on the back of Gary Payton's head, leading to a fracture in his elbow where he would miss the rest of the series and will most likely miss the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a dirty play. I mean,
it was dirty, maybe not
course.
intentional, but it was a bad it was not a basketball play.
No, and like some people it's also like I don't want to blame the victim here, but I mean Gary Payton also landed weird.
Yeah.
To be fair, he landed like on his elbow, with his arms stretched out. I mean, I'm not blaming Gary.
You
Payton
could
for
say
this.
the fall was because he got hit in the head or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I'm not blaming the victim here, but I mean the way he fell was indicative to his injury.
Fair enough, yeah.
But
And
I mean, that's still a dirty play by Clark.
I think he deserved his 1-game suspension.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
think Dylan Brooks, I think he deserved to be out for a game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Steph did what he could, try to win. He had 27, 9 and 8. And Wiggins had 16 and 9. Poole had 20. And Clay again, 5 of 19 this time with only 12 points.
Tough shooting night again for him.
Tough shooting series for him. Until a little bit later. Yeah, Memphis led by 10 in the third. Golden State fought back, got it pretty close again. But they missed a lot of big shots down the stretch. They just couldn't convert.
Clay definitely struggled in the fourth quarter of that game.
Clay was clanking a little bit.
He was.
And also
he was
missing the
breaking
rim.
it up.
Warriors won the rebound battle, actually, but they shot 18% worse from 3, which is crazy from Golden State.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, Golden State's one of the
they're one of the best teams,
three-point shooting teams in the league.
One of the best 3-point shooting teams ever. Like, with
Cool.
Steph and Clay. Maybe not this year, but this core is known to be one of the best shooting teams ever.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And when you have that team shoot 18% from 3, that's tough.
That is tough if you're trying to win a
Although,
game against the
this next game, they shot a little bit better here.
they shot a lot
They
better
won
here.
142-112, taking a 30-point lead to get a 2-1 lead on the series. Got 30 from Steph, 21 from Clay. Still a little inefficient, but hey.
Better game for him.
21's better than 12.
It's true.
Got 27 from Poole off the bench. 18 from Kuminga in 18 minutes. He's a really solid young guy for them. He's a really good pickup for them. And you also got 17 from Wiggins. Like that, if you have 5 guys playing like that, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and like if you get Kuminga to kind of get a little bit more patient with like bad shots and a little more aggressive when he sees a lane, he could be a big player for the Warriors. A guy
for sure.
that can really penetrate the paint
I
and
think
be able to open up a lot more wide open shots for their shooters that
Yeah.
they have. Because like he doesn't need to be able to shoot that well. He just needs to be able to drive, and he's bouncy. He's so bouncy, like it's crazy. So he could be a big piece for them in the future.
And here for Memphis, we had 34 for Ja, and to be honest, no one else had a game that was notable. No one played good. It was just Ja. And Ja ended up actually getting hurt in this game that had him miss the rest of the series, where Jordan Poole went for a sweep on the ball and his hand got caught in his knee. A lot of people thought it was dirty, but
Yeah,
when you look back at the play,
it's not
Jordan
dirty,
Poole's never
and-
been that guy.
And like, I hate when people slow it down and think,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, he had enough time to be able to think that he was grabbing his knee." No, he didn't.
Game speed. That you
Look
don't
at it at game speed. It's not dirty. And then like, Jaws out here tweeting saying that he broke the code.
broke the code.
Like,
I'm
no.
It was not a dirty play. Like
It was never intentional.
it wasn't intentional. No.
And like, I get it. Jaw was mad that he got injured and he got to miss the rest of the series,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a dirty play.
No. Memphis actually had an early double-digit lead with 5 minutes left in the first, but man, Warriors just dominated the rest of the game. Didn't even really give them much of a chance. Warriors won the rebound battle and shot better. And here's the bounce back from from shooting, where they shot 18% in game 2. They shot 53% from 3 here.
That's more
That's
like the
more like
Warriors.
Steph Curry.
That's more like the Golden State Steph Currys.
Yes. And here's a big game, game 4. Golden State wins 101-98, taking the 3-1 lead. But this game, Steve Kerr was out for COVID protocol, so Mike Brown coached the rest of the series.
Oh, I saw a good meme. It was because the Kings hired Mike Brown as their head coach for next year, so it was like Kings fans watching Mike Brown coach the Warriors during the playoffs right now.
Especially after this next game, game 5. They were stressing probably.
They were hey, stay on game 4, man. We're not jumping.
Game
We're
4,
not jumping.
game 4, yeah, they won. It was a little sloppy, but they won. No jaw, like I've said. But he had 32 from Steph. He was 10 of 25. Not the most efficient game, but 32, you live with a little bit, like 40-something%. You had 14 from Clay and 14 from Poole, which is a little tough.
A little tough. Poole had a tough back half of this series.
Yeah, a really nice game for Wiggins. 17-10 boards. Like, man, Wiggins. I think Wiggins is one of the most since the All-Star break, he's one of the more underrated players in the league.
Yeah, well, I think it's
I think everyone got so mad about him being the All-Star starter.
Yeah.
That everyone's like, oh, then everyone's like saying, oh, this is not an All-Star starter. It's like, well, who else was gonna be an All-Star starter?
Yeah, there was nobody.
No
There's no other forwards in the West.
No one deserved it more than him. I don't think he should have been a starter. I think they should have said Luka's a guard, but you know what? He's gonna start.
Yeah, I like that idea, and then didn't Booker started?
Oh no, Luka started. It was Booker that didn't.
Yeah, Booker should have been.
I think they should
small forward for.
Yeah, they should have put Booker in there and said, okay, Luka played the 3 when he was a rookie. Like.
Yeah, and Booker could also play the 3.
Yeah. Jaren Jackson had 21. He had a really solid series. Like, he's a guy that's like year by year he's been looking better and better, and he just looks like he has a really bright future ahead of him.
Well, like you like to see when you see all the Warriors have all these small guys, and you like to see him actually use his height and not just settle for jump shots.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he did in this game, and it was good for them because he started and like actually earlier in this series too he did that too. But you could see when he lived by the jump shot, died by the jump shot.
Oh yeah, he had 19 from Tyus Jones. He's been solid.
He's a solid young player for them.
Solid backup, but he's been solid replacing Jaw, which is not an easy task. But hey, they were really good this year when Jaw was out.
They were like 22-9 I think when Jaw was out.
Something like that, season. Or like 26. I think it was like 22-6 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a crazy record. Like they played so much better without their best player.
That makes no sense to me. It's crazy. I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's because Jaw plays a lot of iso ball.
Yeah, and that team is gelled so well together. Even when Jaw's there, they're really gelled together. And when they should play that team ball, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, and I think without Jaw, there's a lot less iso, and they are able to move the ball around like they like to do and generate more open shots.
Yeah. And they also had 17 from Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson. Slowest man in the league.
Slowest man in the league.
Warriors won the rebound battle, but they shot worse, and it was just a bad shooting night from both teams.
Yeah, it was.
Memphis was shot 25.7% from 3, and Golden State was 24.3%, which is like.
It was kind of a grinded out game.
Oh yeah, it was just like
the Warriors just kind of showed that they were the more experienced team. That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah, that's what they kind of showed this game.
Memphis actually led the majority of the game, but it was close still. And Draymond had a huge game-winning block in the final seconds that kind of sealed it.
Yeah, Golden State just kind of stepped it up in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Golden State's known for taking the third quarter and going crazy, and then taking the fourth quarter and keeping it going.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Here's where it gets a little interesting. Game 5, 134-95 for Memphis to get it at 3-2.
Damn.
It was just all around domination from the Grizz. You had 22 for Jaren Jackson, 22 for Tyus Jones, 21 for Tyus Jones, my bad. 21 for Desmond Bane.
Haven't heard his name much.
No, he had a little bit of a tough series.
Might hear his name in a later episode.
You got 12 for Dylan Brooks. You got 11 for Zaire Williams. 11 for Brandon Clark, 10 for D'Anthony Melton.
Oh my god!
So literally, like their whole roster just played really well. They're like,
yeah, this is what I mean by like
their depth. Yeah,
when they're not with Jaw.
I know, literally. And then for Golden State, you had 19 from Clay, 14 from Steph, and 17 from Kuminga. Only 3 points from Poole.
Eesh.
Like,
I mean,
they were just swarming.
Also, with I don't know what they shot like Clay and Steph this game, but when you're getting
very
blown
good.
out, you're not going to get a lot of minutes
No.
as well. So
yeah.
that could have been why they also didn't score as much. But
Yeah.
still, to get down that much to a team without their best player when you're the team like the
Maybe why
Warriors.
Sacramento was stressing a little bit about Mike Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Brown's been a really solid coach. He stepped up for them in 2017 as well with KD, and he did a pretty good job. I mean, how good of a coach you need to be with that team.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, then you had 10 off the bench for Moody and D. Lee, who were players who didn't get a lot of minutes.
Daniel Lee?
Damian Lee.
Ah, that's the one.
Memphis, they played by 55 at one point in the game.
Yeesh.
In the third quarter, it was a 55-point game.
Wow.
Golden State also had 12 more turnovers. That's crazy. Memphis just dominated the boards, and
They just kind of dominated this game.
the Warriors didn't have a single lead the entire game.
Yeah, this reminds me of the Mavs Suns game kind of, but it was worse.
Yeah, and then here's where the series gets closed out. Game 6, 110-96. Golden State wins.
There's a reason there's a certain game number on this one here.
As put on the story of Mr. Klay Thompson, I'm liable to go Michael, Jackson, Tyson, Jordan, Game 6. Game 6, Clay with 30 points. This man pops off in Game 6.
He was shooting that thing.
But like, man, he was just dominant. But then in the fourth quarter, Steph played pretty good too to
The Splash
get
Bros,
the
man.
lead. Steph had 29. He had 18 from Wiggs. Got 14, 15, and 8 from Draymond. Nowadays, you can't ask for a better game from Draymond Green.
Well, Draymond Green scoring 14 points is like a
Rare.
40 bomb.
That's a violation. It's too far.
No, I mean, like, he's not known for scoring. I mean, come on. Triple single.
Yeah, he had 12 from Poole as well. And here's the thing. Kevon Looney, or as Draymond Green says, Kevon Looneyjuan, with 22 rebounds.
And half of them were offensive.
Half of them were. That's crazy. Like, he had a really bad rebounding game in Game 5 where they had a pretty big loss.
Mm-hmm.
But he just said he took that personally.
Yeah, as the great Michael Jordan said, I took that personally.
Took that personally. Had 22 boards. That's like crazy. I mean, Dylan Brooks had 30, his first good game of the series, pretty much.
All the homies hate Dylan Brooks.
It wasn't intentional. It was a dirty play, but not intentional.
Yeah, but
All the homies hate Grayson Allen.
all the homies.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget that.
He had 25 for D-Bane. He had a really good last couple of games of the series, but he had a really bad start.
Yeah, he had a couple. He ended out the series well, but
Jaren Jackson,
bad.
he played good the whole series, but he had 12 points here. A little less than you'd hope.
died by the jump shot, man.
I mean, I was hoping he had less, to be honest. Being the Warriors fan I am.
Your Warriors.
I mean, the Warriors just dominated the boards. They won the rebound battle 70-44.
Ooh.
Just domination. Brooks had another flagrant foul this game, this time on Steph.
All the homies hate Dylan Brooks. All the homies hate Dylan Brooks.
I mean, I don't hate him. The Canadian boy.
I don't care that he's Canadian. This guy's
That's-
out here taking out everybody.
Golden State had way more turnovers, but they also shot a lot better and scored a lot more. So
Hey, that's gonna wrap it up for this.
I'll do it. Here's my final takes for the series. It was just a very physical, just fought out series to the end. The Warriors showed their experience and exposed Memphis' lack of it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ja being injured probably hurt them, but I mean, like we said, they're pretty good without Ja. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they I almost want to say they played better without Ja. Even this
Yeah,
series, like
maybe,
the games
yeah.
they lost without him, they were still close. Like, I guess the 110-96 game 6 wasn't that close, but I mean they beat the
Yeah.
Warriors by 39 points.
Yeah.
Like, that's without their leading scorer. So I mean,
But Ja was playing really good at the start.
he was playing well at the start, so you never know. Just a
Jordan
bunch of
Poole,
what
he
ifs.
started off hot, just like last series, but finished pretty cold. Averaged 17.8 on the series. Like,
Not
Okay,
not
not
horrible.
Steph averaged 26, 5, and 6. Solid series. It's Steph things.
Yeah, just Steph Shepard.
Clay started the series horrible.
really bad
Yeah,
shooting.
really bad series, to be honest. Then Game 6 came along.
Game
Game
six,
6,
Clay.
Clay.
That's crazy. That's his first game 6 since 2019.
This is his first playoffs in 2019.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, man. That just seems so long ago.
I know that's same year Luka got drafted.
That's crazy.
Then Dylan Brooks got suspended a game, but played bad all but one of the games he played in.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that a little
Yeah.
earlier.
Desmond Bain was okay, but not as good as round one.
Might hear
Started
more
off pretty
about that.
bad.
Might hear more about that. Spoiler.
Jaren Jackson, he definitely stepped up at times, but he also showed his inexperience
Yeah.
and showed how he's he's been injured a lot in his career, so he hasn't got as many minutes as people would think.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like kind of how I said, like he kind of just took a lot of bad 3-pointers,
Yeah.
like a lot of rush 3-pointers,
For
which
sure, yeah.
hurt his scoring. I think if he just kind of went after the Warriors' small lineup. I know Draymond's a good defender, but he could have dominated the paint this series. I feel like it. Him and Steven Adams. Steven Adams also looked better this series.
Well, he barely played.
They played him in game 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And
He looked okay.
He looked good because he can just dominate the little guys
Yeah.
in the paint.
Yeah. Looney had a couple rough games, but man, that game 6 I think just puts a big shadow over those bad games.
Yeah, I mean, Looney's just a guy who's gonna go out there every night and give you 100%.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all you can ask for him.
It was kind of tough having Steve Kerr miss games 4, 5, 6, and even with Mike Brown, who maybe isn't the best coach in the league. He's not a horse. He's solid. He's a really solid coach, but Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches in the league. There's an argument for being he's one of the best coaches of the last decade.
Yeah. So I mean,
Like,
you also,
but like you got Steph, Draymond,
yeah,
Iguodala.
they
Those are
kinda
3
help coach
elite
themselves.
leaders, and they could run the show. Like, I know there's been times in the past where Steve Kerr just said, "Okay, Iguodala, you're running the show today. I'm just sitting there."
Or even Draymond. Draymond's been a really good leader for this team.
Draymond's like a really good leader. Steph is I think was one of the best leaders in the NBA maybe of all time.
Yeah. For sure.
Because he's a leader like vocally, and he leads by example as well.
Yeah.
Like on offense, and he's actually a really underrated defender as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's a solid defender.
I mean, I think even all this loss, Grizzlies, they have a really bright future ahead of
Yeah,
them.
they're still super young. Like
I mean, Dylan Brooks calling them a dynasty. It's too early for that.
they're not a dynasty. They haven't done anything. They're not a dynasty.
They're literally not.
Anyways,
People literally say the Warriors aren't a dynasty.
I-
So if they're not a dynasty, then
then who is? Then who is a dynasty?
these guys aren't even a team.
Yeah, that's fair. I digress.
Yeah.
But we talk about the Western Conference Finals coming up, starting
Yeah,
this
let's
week.
get this preview. It's Warriors Mavericks. I think this is gonna be a fun one for sure.
A lot
one
of
for the
shooters,
I mean,
shooters in this series.
The Mavs are 3-1 against Golden State this year.
That actually surprised me. I didn't think that they
Yeah.
played that much better against them this year. I thought it would have been like 2-2
Well, the Warriors
or
are up and
3-1.
down with injuries all year. Like since Clay came back, it was like Draymond was out for like 2.5 weeks. And
That's
then
true.
Draymond came back, and then Curry got hurt and was out till the playoffs.
That's very true.
So it was a little tough for the second half of the year. But yeah, neither team really has that large inside presence.
No, they both play pretty small.
Like
Looney's gonna be like the tallest guy out there.
Boban's the tallest guy in the series, which
Well,
he'll be the tallest guy in any series.
Yeah, but Jason
But-
Kidd doesn't play him because he doesn't know
No.
what he's doing. Like, come on.
Best player in the league.
Hashtag play Boban or we riot.
Hashtag Boban deserves better. Hashtag
Yes.
send him to Toronto.
Bro, he should go to a team like the Heat.
Hashtag send him to Toronto.
He should go to Toronto. That'd be so much. That'd
He's
be
so
much
sick.
fun.
Instant cop every jersey.
Yup.
Every color.
Every colorway. Boban is GOAT.
Instant buy season tickets. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a shooting series, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting a Steph Luka duel.
Well,
But
obviously.
you don't even need that though for the Warriors. Like, I'm thinking if you're the Warriors, you can have one player. Like, if you got one player game, put around 30 to somewhat match Luka,
Uh-huh.
and just get all your other guys to like put like 20 up, 25 up.
Well, the
And
Warriors.
then their defense, they could just. I mean, Brunson and Dinwiddie have played really well, but hey, this Warriors team is is better defensively than any teams they've played.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Wiggins and Draymond are two of the best defenders in the league.
the Warriors just need to stop the others from getting going, like
Yeah.
what the Suns couldn't do.
Literally, yeah.
Like they need to,
And
they need to
and
be able
then
to
they
slow
need-
down guys. Like if a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith makes a few shots in a row, they need to be able to slow him down.
And then they also need at least one or two of their stars to play well.
Yeah, Clay's got to do kind of what he did
Clay's-
in game 4, I think it was that he played. Like we don't need game 6 Clay every game, but like
I mean,
it would be
oh.
nice. But like kind of like game what game did he also play well in? Played well in game 3, I guess. But like kind of you just need him to shoot a little bit better.
I think for Dallas, what's happened in the regular season games is Golden State didn't really shoot well, and Dallas did.
Uh-huh.
And I think just Luka needs to continue to go in demon mode that he's on.
Yeah,
he's
that was
literally on demon mode right now.
that was kind of a question I had earlier at with my final takes of the Mavs Sun series was, would the Mavs be able to slow down the Warriors shooting like they were able to do with Phoenix? Because
Yeah.
Phoenix was shooting hot up until Game 3.
Yeah, they were shooting
And
that
then they
thing.
shoot well. Yeah, so would they be able to slow down the Warriors, who I think are a much better 3-point shooting team as far as volume
Yeah.
than the Suns?
Well,
but
of course, they have two of the best shooters of all time.
that's true. But are they? Because Bullock did really good job at bothering
yeah.
Booker. 'Cause he's a good defender. So what?
But the thing is
his
Steph's
assignment's
not,
gonna be much tougher.
Steph's
than
not Steph's not really a guy that gets bothered. You could put Beverly on him. He'll get maybe we'll bug him for the first half, but then all of a sudden, it looks pretty effortless.
It makes it look effortless.
And then but yeah, the Warriors they got home court this series, so I mean Chase Center goes crazy,
Chase Center goes crazy, man.
just like Oracle, it goes crazy.
Oh yeah.
They just have way more experience. They've been here. They've been here before. They made the finals 5 years straight. They know what it takes.
They know what they need to do to get there.
Of course, yeah. But and right now in the playoffs, Golden State ranks first in points, sixth in rebounds, and first in assists. And Dallas ranks 10th in points, 15th in rebounds, and 15th in assists.
Yeah. So the Warriors have been a scoring team these playoffs. They've been scoring a lot this playoffs, and they've been just kind of shooting well.
I don't know about you, but I'm calling a 4-2 win for Golden State. Go to Game 6.
Yeah.
Game 6 Clay.
I like the Warriors in this series as well. I think it'll go. I think it'll be more than 5. I don't think the Warriors will be able to win this series.
I
in
could
5
see,
games.
I could see a 5, but I'm expecting a 6.
Yeah, I'd say a 6 or a 7.
I think if depends what Curry and Clay you're getting.
Yeah.
If you're getting from last year, I think it's 6. But if you're getting Steph that we've seen in the past, or just a consistent
when he
Clay.
struggles shooting, or
No, I think Steph
making
when
it look
just
effortless.
when he just pulls in the logo and it goes in.
That's true. Yeah, I think it's
2016
gonna
Steph.
go. I think it's gonna go 6 or 7. I think the Warriors will end up being up 3-2 in Game 6. So I think it'll depend on how that Game 6 goes.
Game 6 Clay, baby.
But I definitely like the Warriors to go
Yeah.
to the finals this year.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. They have a shot to go all the way, I think.
I think they could legit do it.
If I'm being 100% honest, I think Dallas is the only team I don't see being a true championship team right now.
That's fair. The other two teams in the East that you'll hear about next time, I think they could both have a chance to win it. But yeah, Dallas.
I think
is
that's a
kinda the
story
only
for next
outlier.
time, though.
And that's kind of just a segue into into wrapping this thing off.
Later this week, we'll come back and talk about the Eastern semis.
Yeah, we got the Eastern semis coming up, and thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah,
and
peace.
peace out.